In these tough times, some of us have to go through drastic measures to be able to game on PC. I introduce you a $100 budget mini ITX gaming PC build in 2020 to get you through the rough times. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below, and thank you for watching. Okay, now so let me go over all the parts that it took to build this mini ITX gaming computer. Those of you who are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe down below. I appreciate it. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. It really helps out a lot. So let me begin with this build here. Now it took me quite some time to finally get everything together and complete this build, and the issue was finding a case. Now I'm sure you're aware that when it comes to mini ITX builds, one of the most cost parts are going to be usually is a case. Because the mini ITXs, there's really not that many options, and they are pretty pricey in my opinion, especially if you're on a budget and you only want to spend somewhere between $10 or $20 on a case. Most of the times you should be able to find a good deal on a micro ATX or a mid tower. There's plenty around there for like that price range, but when it comes to a mini ITX, there's really no options. So I waited out for a while, and I got lucky about a couple of months back at the local thrift shop, back when you could still go around and shop for things. I picked up this brand new Inwin BP655 mini ITX, brand new in the box with all the accessories, for only $10. And what's great about this case, it does come with a 300 watt power supply, just perfect for this low power build here. Next is the motherboard, which I had laying around for quite some time and I just didn't know what to do with it. I really didn't want to put this in a bigger case because it would look kind of funny. But now I found a place for it, so I'm glad for that. So it's an Asus P8H61-I, and it's paired with an i5-3470s, low powered i5, which is a 2.9 gigahertz and up to 3.6 turbo, along with 8 gigs of DDR3 1600 megahertz RAM. Now this motherboard does go up to 16 gigs of RAM, but I am keeping the cost down, and for what I need here, 8 gigs is more than enough to run all the esport games, and even a majority of the AAA titles I was able to squeeze out of this build at 1080p. And the most expensive part of this build is going to be the graphics card, and there's really not many options when it comes to one of these mini ITX builds. There's really not that much room, and there's only one slot left, so I used the good old Gigabyte GT 1030, which is my go-to card for a lot of the smaller builds. They're perfect for the small Dell Optiplex, small form factors. A lot of the times that's going to be the only option, and there's really no shame in this graphics card. It handles just about any game, and it's really good. It's good for streaming. It's good all around purpose. Now also, I was surprised that this old Blu-ray player that I found laying around from 2007 actually works. I was able to download a Blu-ray software and popped in a couple of movies, and it looks fantastic on my big screen TV. So overall, I think this is an all-purpose build here. You could just put it right underneath your entertainment center or on the side, and you could, watch some Blu-ray movies, stream, and play some of the esport games out there, and even, like I said, some of the AAA title games, no problem. You could just, mess around with the settings, and we're going to get to that soon, and you will see how well this thing performs. I was very impressed. Next is the hard drive for this build. I used a 240 gigabyte SSD drive. Now there's a room for one more secondary drive, but I kept again the cost down. For what I'm using, 240 gigs is more than enough, for a few games, and you have some room left over. More than enough, like I said, and it's it's fast and it does its job well. And another thing that I actually changed in this case was the exhaust fan. It comes with a black 80mm exhaust fan up on top. I had an old 80mm red LED fan laying around. I went ahead and just switched it around, and I plugged it in with the Molex connection, and it's running at full speed for that good airflow. Overall, I think this thing has pretty decent airflow, and the temperatures are pretty good while you're in game. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. I hope you like it. This is the best I could have done for the budget, and I always recommend sometimes just sit back and wait for that right part, you know, until the time comes, and then you know, you get that right part and you save a lot of money. So without further ado, let's get into some gaming test benchmarks, so stay tuned. So the first game I'll be testing out is the new Resident Evil 3 remake. Let me go over the settings. I am on 1080p. These are my settings here to give the game a good visual look and still be able to play it with enjoyable FPS. Now, if you think this is a little bit too low of a frame rates and not as enjoyable as you would like, you could always change this one setting in the option from rendering mode to interlaced, and now we should get quite a bit of FPS boost and less drops in the frame rates. And again, it's still visually good. Well, as you could see, this game is quite playable on 1080p resolution. It looks good and decent FPS, averaging around 60 with the current settings, and that's what I would recommend for anyone who'll be using this graphics card. Well, on to the next game. And here we have another amazing game, the new Star Wars. It's a beautiful game. Some say it could be the best Star Wars ever made. There's definitely debate on that. But yet again, I'm able to run this game on 1080p resolution with some decent frame rates. So let me show you the settings. And we're on medium, which is the lowest settings you could do on this game, which means lowest. So oh man.
How'd you get here?
How'd you get here?
Huh?
Before they start cutting this wing.
After me!
I'm working as fast as I can.
Cal, use the manual override lever below.
Got it. Your turn.
Hold on. All right, clamp secured. You okay?
Still here.
Give me a fright there, pal.
Done.
Hang on. I got this. We're done. Get on up here. Come take a look at this. It's a Jedi fighter.
Well, there you have it. As you could see, it runs really good. On to the next one.
4 years?
And here's another excellent game that I'm going to test out for this video here is Gears 5. And yet again, we are able to run this thing on 1080p, no problem. Full screen 1080p, and I guess you could call this like medium preset. This is what it automatically gave me, and that's what I'm going to run with. And the visuals look good, and the game is quite playable.
Dave, light. Remember, Big Loc Sparrow site is out. Catch. Could be waist deep in swarm. It's one hell of a way to come back to Azura. Hey!
What the hell? Let me search a place that's falling apart.
Quickly.
There's plan to launch a satellite from here. It seems a little half-baked.
Well, half-baked plans are kind of Baird's specialty.
How Baird even figured out they had it?
My father, before he died, he let Baird in on a few cog secrets. And this island, there's plenty of them. Hey, over there. Could be useful. Hey, fetch. Didn't expect there'd still be bodies. Only a handful of us made it off Azura alive. Gotta cut through. Okay, let's go. Stay back. We're coming down. Huh, guess who? Hey, send a pulse and let's see what we're dealing with. Ah, there they are. Take care of this one. Okay, let's put him down. Get into cover.
High ground on the left! Flank up!
More drone. On right. Going track. All right, that's all of them. Baird, confirmed. Azura burial site is active. Shit. Okay,
Well, last but not least, Need for Speed Heat, a true test to this gaming computer. Can I run this on 1080p? Let's find out. As you could see, we are on 1080p with every single setting on the lowest or turned off. There's just no way to get around. We are at 100% scaling. Everything turned down. This game is pretty hard to run. So definitely the hardest out of all the ones I just tested in this video. But as you could see, we are at 30 FPS. The game is responsive. It's still enjoyable. It looks good. Definitely no shame to it. We'll just take a quick spin around this track here. Well, as you guys could see, for $100, you could still game quite a bit. Well, it really depends on all the right parts and all the right settings. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave any comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And that's it. Just watch this for a few more minutes, and I'll see you guys in another video. Have a nice day.